Hi everyone, I'm Sandie La Nae. Welcome to Psychic Creations. We have an interesting show for you today. As you know, I'm an author of several books, and I like to feature authors on Psychic Creations so you, the viewers, can meet fabulous authors that write very interesting books such as children's adventure books, such as our special guest today has written very exciting children's adventures books, let me say. Please welcome Mary Randall.
Hi everybody, that's me, Mary Randall. How are you out there?
Awesome. It's an honor to have you on our show today.
Thank you, Sandy.
And this has been a long time coming, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm, it has.
We've been waiting months for her to get her third book finished.
Done. Yep. It took a while because I wanted to do a really good job, and I didn't want to rush anything, so it came out just the way I wanted it, and that's what happened.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, before we get into your books, I'd like to ask you a couple of questions so our viewers can get to know you up close and personal.
Sounds
Okay?
great.
All right. Let's see here. Are you a native of Nevada or Carson City?
Well, almost like a native by now. I was actually born in San Francisco, California, and grew up in the hills of Fairfax, that's near San Rafael in Marin County, and had a great childhood there. Just let my imagination go wild. It was so much fun. And then my parents and I moved up here in July of '73, and we've been here ever since. We love Carson City, love the whole area, love the people here, love being near Lake Tahoe.
Oh,
and
yes.
It's been a really nice experience. So I'm almost like a native because I've been here for almost 40 years now. So
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I came here in '76 from California too. I guess we're all displaced Californians, aren't we?
Yep, we are.
But I've been here like you. I've been here so long. I'm a native.
Exactly.
Well, cool. All right. And you like living here in Nevada?
I do.
Good for you.
Definitely.
Well, I think Nevada's very happy that you're here with us.
Thank you. I'm happy you are here too.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's cool. We authors just hook up. It's just so much fun. It is. Well, okay. How did you become interested in writing?
This is a good question and a good story. I started out in first my mom had mentioned to me, I was very close to my mom and dad, and my mom mentioned to me that I should write for magazines. So to get started, I started with articles with the Nevada Appeal back in 2006, winter 2006 into 2007. It was called The Great Outdoors, The Go. And what I did was, Alan and I, my husband, we're into wilderness sports, and we used to love to go snowmobiling with the different resorts way out in the wilderness. And then we do dog sledding and things like that. It was so much fun all around the Lake Tahoe area, Donner Lake. And so then I'd write the articles about it. And so that would go on the paper it would be Zephyr Cove, I'd go with them up on Spooner, or we'd go out to Lake Tahoe Adventures out by
Nice.
out by Myers, and just all over the place, and up by Donner Lake, and I'd write all about it so that families and people would know how much fun it was. So then one day my mom said to me, I think you should write children's adventure books. You'd be so good at it because of your wild imagination, and when you're going up on that hill you just love to tell the kids stories. You were so good at it that I think you'd be good at it. So on the first book, A Walk Through the Woods, the very first one, Alan and I were camping down on the ocean bluffs right above San Diego, and I started writing it. And I just thought, wow, I just loved it. I just dove right into it. This one right here, yes. And when I was writing, and I came back from vacation, I go, Mommy, you are so right. I love this, and thank you for turning me into the right, or pointing me into the right direction. So I thank my mom for pointing me in the right direction to become an author of children's adventure books.
Well, thanks, Mom. Well, that's awesome. Oh, what awesome inspirations she gave you.
She did.
Well, then your experience is out and about, too.
Right,
Isn't
exactly.
that fun? Oh, my gosh. Well, okay, can you tell us all about your different books, if you would, please?
Absolutely. Now, the first one, A Walk Through the Woods. Now, Bobby is the main character. He's wearing his lucky baseball cap. And his lucky baseball cap is throughout all three trilogies. And you find out on the last trilogy what that's all about.
Oh, fun.
And in the first one, it takes place in Kentucky, where he's from. And it starts out with his best friends, Molly, Billy, and Jake. And here's all the talking animals. We've got, let's see, we have Andre the skunk. We've got Bongo the bobcat. We've got Balthazar the golden eagle, who's the keeper of the Magic Kingdom of the Woods, and we've got Priscilla the little deer, and there's a lot of BMX biking that goes on in here, and they end up meeting a man that oversees these caves there. And there's a lot of Civil War history in these caves, and there's
Oh.
Indian spirits, and they lead him, Bobby and his friends, by finding this parchment in this swimming hole on how to find this treasure, which was there was like gold bullion buried way out what they call it was out in a great big the Valley of the Wild Boar, and they end up riding this wild horse named Mr. Saturday out there to find it, and then also these wild boar. They end up riding those too. They become kind of tame, and they lead them to where this treasure is buried. And there's also what they call a golden threaded robe, which belonged to the Poponachi tribe, this Indian tribe that lived in these caves. So, make a long story short, it ends up where they meet these villains, these kids on motocross bikes, and they try to get into this cave so they can hide stuff that they're stealing. And it's just in the end, Bobby turns them in the right direction and everything, and it has a real happy ending to it. But then he finds out in this ending of the story, his parents, who have written computer software. They're in the main town of Jackson there, but they're over in Australia now, starting that same computer business over there. So he finds out that the rest of that summer, he's going to be going to Australia next. And the animals also, they all talk in the story, and they're leading him on this journey they want him, and even Abe, who oversees the caves, explains to him that he needs to make an important change in the 21st century to put things right. So when he leaves Kentucky to go with his parents over to Australia, which is the second book, Fire in the Tail, he continues on with this journey, and he meets new friends over there. There's these three kids that actually are from that area. There's Barrymore, which is known as Barry, his little brother Tommy. And the kids are all 10 years old, by the way. Bobby and his friends are 10 years old, and when they get to Australia, he meets up with Barry on the plane over there on the way to Australia, and it takes place in Queensland, the Queensland outback, then the Great Barrier Reef and Ayers Rock. It's all this stuff that goes on, and there's a lot of skateboarding over there too, and he takes a skateboard with him because his parents don't want him to take his BMX bike. It takes up too much space on the plane, so he brings his skateboard because he's very good at skateboarding too, and Barrymore is 10 like he is. Then his little sister Abby's like 7. His little brother Tommy is 5. And then the other girl, Holly, she's like 13. But they all become very good friends when they get over there. And there's a mystical, magical purple mermaid, which they meet out on an island in the Great Barrier Reef. And then there's a half kangaroo on top, half dragon on the bottom. And the kids call him Jalalapop, but the Aborigines call him Wadiaruru. And in the story, there's a nice Aborigine native named Tutuwaka, they call him Tutu, which helps him on his journey to continue on. And there's all kinds of stuff that they go along the way that lead him to continue trying to find this destiny. And there's a magic closet over there they go into, and they meet spirits from times way back when there was back when the English first settled and everything. And they're trying to also, he has 3 special things that he's supposed to do. He has to complete these 3 special things to lead him to find Jalalapop, who's going to help him, lead him on that destiny. And there's like an outback where a comet falls into the outback, creates a special billabong that has magical powers, and that's where this creature is created from. And they have these really bad villains that are part of like a Chinese gang that come over from San Francisco called the Fruit Slung, and they're going to try to take that over. But Jalalapop and the kids and the Aborigines are not going to let that happen. So that's
good. Kind of all excited about this story.
And then they're led to Jalalapop. Has a special cauldron with the water that comes out of the billabong. And of course, how about I don't spoil this for everybody? But anyway, it's I don't want to spoil it, but
it's okay.
He sends out these special. And then all these kids come from all over the world. Each child is chosen from each continent to have the special ability to hear animals talk, and each one of them has to also perform in different countries the same destiny as Bobby does. And so, through this giant bubble that comes out of the cauldron, Jalalapop throws at each child's head and it hits their face, it's absorbed into the brain, and they see a vision with this large bubble ball, vision of enlightenment of what their journey is going to be to make a change in the 21st century and what country they're going to be in. And that's how Bobby finds out. He meets another child there named Valentine from Russia, and their two destinies are connected. So they're both going to be going to Siberia. And that's what the third book is all about.
Oh my gosh, you go all over the world.
I know
here.
it. And this is where the third book takes place, Red River and the Tree of Enlightenment. And it takes place in northeastern Siberia, which is, in Russia. And over there, he also meets what they call the Yakuts natives. They're the descendants of the Mongolians and the Turks. And they meet a black shaman called Kobosh. And he's able to journey into other worlds with the spirits and find out what's going on.
Oh.
And he helps the children, and then Molly, his best friend from the first book, gets to go with him and Bobby's dad over to Russia, and they take the Trans-Siberian train from Moscow all the way down to Lake Baikal, and they work their way to another train up to northeast Siberia. And the things they meet and the things they find along the way, there's these bad villains that are on this train, and they hear them whispering behind this door, and they're talking about this golden tree and the river that runs red like blood. And this is somehow, but nobody, the black shamans know of this. They call it the World Tree and the World River, but they've never found it, but they know it's out there somewhere. So it's Kobosh's quest to take these kids to go with them on a plane flight out there on a Cessna plane to try to find this. And that's the Golden Tree and the Red River are what, which is the Tree of Enlightenment, lead Bobby and his friends. They go to a magical land through an invisible passageway, and it's the land of good and the land of darkness. And it involves all these neat spirits and talking animals. And we've got this white Siberian tiger. She is known as the good spirit Goligoon. But she's the one in charge of the good side, and she talks and everything. And then there's the dark side where all these children are trapped over there, and they want and it turns out there's these dark shadows with the cold blue eyes will not let them go, and they're making them do things they don't want to do. And Bobby and his friends have to go over there and rescue them and bring them back to the good side, and that leads to his destiny. So anyway, and then you find out what the Red River and the Tree of Enlightenment is all about. It's all connected to Bobby's destiny. And then there's a giant woolly mammoth over there that's lived millions of years ago on the good side, and all these cool animals that talk and everything. And I don't want to spoil it, so I'm not going to go over everything. But but in the very end,
I'm loving it.
On the very last chapter, there's like 4 parts in the last chapter, like there was in the second book, and that's what is the lead up to the final blowout, which is against the good side versus the dark side.
Okay.
And then Bobby's destiny is revealed, and he makes the important change. That's going to make a real important change to turn things in the right direction.
Oh my gosh.
And
everybody has to buy these. I mean, adults, I think, would love these
I know
too.
adults like them too. These are ages 6 years old and up, and the kids are going nuts over them, which has been really wonderful. That's what makes it for me, that the kids love them so much,
Sure.
and the adults like them too. Yeah, they like them too. Matter of fact, when I had a book signing at Coma Coffee a couple weeks ago, I had the article in paper, and 3 of the people that were adults that don't have kids had bought the first 2. They came racing down to get the third one because they liked it so much.
Oh, fun.
So that was so
How
cool.
fun.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what interesting stories. And you've had teachers
Yes.
purchase your books for their classrooms.
Absolutely. Yes.
Isn't that fun?
It is a lot of fun. I love it.
Oh gosh, wow, I don't know what to say. What exciting stories. Oh my gosh. Well, let's see, can you tell our viewers, how long does it take you to write each book?
Usually it takes about 2 years per book, because by the time I write the story, I kind of take my time. I mean, I never have, I'm very fortunate, I'm very blessed, I don't have writer's block at all. So my imagination is constantly cooking along, it never runs out of any ideas. But I sit down in my reclining chair at home and I write it in a notebook, I write it very fast through each chapter. Then I go in and type it into Microsoft Word on the computer. Then Alan, my husband, is my editor. And so I send it over to him, and then he takes his time proofreading and everything, and he'll correct. He's very good at spelling and punctuation and all those different things, and he goes over with me, and I make the corrections. So, but when it's it takes time to do all that. Plus, my illustrationist, it's Zach Mueller, who is my illustrationist. He does all the covers, plus a lot of the interior as well. Alan and I do some of the interior illustrations. He does all the rest. He's a busy guy. He has a tattoo business, plus he has another business and a family. So it takes him about a year to complete the cover, and then after that, it takes him maybe about a month or two to do the interior. So I don't like to rush him or anything. So I get him started early. Sometimes even before I get started on the books, we have plenty of time to do it while I'm writing the story. So all in all, between me writing the story and the illustrations that Alan and I do, and that Zach, my illustrations, does, it takes about 2 years to complete it.
Well, I could see why. There's a lot of detail in the covers of your book here. Oh, goodness sakes.
And I always go over it with Zach. It's like we have this really good connection. I tell him roughly what I want. I bring him like kind of rough drawings and stuff, or pictures of what the actual characters are. And I tell him roughly what's going on. And then I said, Zach, go ahead and work your magic. And he always does a great job. It's like he knows exactly what I want.
Exactly. That's awesome. Oh, I'm just so excited about this. All right, I want to go back to something that I think is very important. I like to know where authors create. Okay? Now, you said that you will sit in your recliner and write the notes down.
Yes.
Do you write out all chapters or just notes, then go type up? Your imagination starts to flow, then you type up the story on the computer.
I actually write the whole chapter in that notebook.
Okay.
And then from that, I use that. Then I go over and make sure I got all my spellings right. Go over and check all my spelling words and punctuation. I kind of read it after I've said the first chapter. I'll go and read through it all and check everything, and then I might go to another chapter, set chapter 2, do the same thing, write that very thoroughly, and check all the spelling and punctuation myself. So I'm editing myself too before I go to the computer to actually type in, say, the first 2 chapters to send over to Alan so we can start editing it.
Isn't that fun?
It
and
is
you
a
have
lot
your
of
own
fun.
little space that
I
you
do.
write, yeah.
Upstairs, we have an additional loft up there, and that's where my recliner, we have like another living room up there. We can watch TV and movies downstairs or go upstairs if we want to. So that's my special reclining chairs up there. So I sit in that, and that's lean back and have my notebook and everything, just let my imagination flow, which is so much fun. And then I'll go to my office, which is another room in that loft, and where my desk and computer is, and do my typing there.
Isn't that fun?
It is a lot of fun.
I love to ask and find out where authors do their creating. Everybody's got their own little special niche and how to do things. I'm like you, I'm old school. I write things down. I mean, I go through these type of papers. I don't like water. I just go through them. Anyway.
Is that what you do also? Do you write everything down, then you go type it in?
Yeah.
So just like I do, that's, but isn't that fun to do it like that?
Is. Yeah. I love it. I just love it. Well, how much time do you devote each day to writing?
Okay, like when I was on the 3rd book, I would do like maybe each day at least 4 to 5 hours per day, and then that would be like Monday through Friday. Then kind of take a break on the weekend, unless I came up with this really good idea in the morning before Alan and I went out to do some fun stuff. I write it down real quick, or I take my notebook with me sometimes, because you know how you get ideas when you're out and about. So it's good to have a little notebook just in case if something comes to you, because if you don't write it down, you're going to forget it.
Yeah.
You know what that's like, huh, Sandy?
Yes, I do.
So pretty much like 4 to 5 hours per day. And then like towards the end, when I was trying to wrap it up and get it done, I was writing 7 days a week.
Oh,
I was on the computer 7 days a week and going over everything.
Yes.
I guess that, like after you've done, like you get the whole book in there, and after you are going, I must have went over the whole manuscript before I sent to the publisher 5 times.
Wow.
And then they send back a proofread, go over it again to make sure they didn't make any mistakes. That was like my 6th time, and by then I was cross-eyed.
I can imagine.
I was so glad when that was done. That was my eyeballs needed a rest.
Yes, I know that editing mode really gets. It's like,
man.
but it's intense.
It's very intense.
Yeah.
Actually, to me, that's the hardest job in writing a book. The writing part is the fun part. It's the editing that's a lot of work.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And it makes you like you want to go cross-eyed or something.
I hear you on that. I really do. Oh my gosh, that is fun. Now, I like to ask authors this too because I'm weird. when you do you write? Okay, when you write a book, do you get the title first, or do you get the story first and then the title, or how do you just? What's your very first step?
That's a very good question, Sandy. I kind of, in my mind, before I start each book, I kind of know basically what it's going to be about, but I pick the title first. I have a rough idea what the story is going to be about, but I pick the title first to match that,
Uh-huh.
and then work it from there.
Isn't that fun?
Mm-hmm.
I know the title is kind of like it gives you that, okay, now we're ready to go.
Yeah, exactly. Is that how you do it too?
In a way,
Uh-huh.
I think of a title, but what I do is I create my own covers. And so it's kind of like when I create a cover, then I have to write the book. I can't back away from
Right.
it.
That's true. And your
So-
covers are awesome, by the way.
Oh, thank
on
you.
all your books.
Oh, I like to make those. Okay, let's see. Oh, do you self-publish or do you have a publishing company?
I am self-published.
Mhm. Cool. And
And the name of the self-publisher is Ex Libris Company or Corporation,
Mhm.
and they're back in Bloomington, Indiana. Very nice people, and they do a good job on everything for
yes,
me.
they do. Yeah, your books are excellent quality
Mhm,
books.
very good quality.
Yeah. Well, you have talked to us about these wonderful books here. Do you have plans to carry on this series or start a new adventure?
I'm going to be starting a new type of series. Like this series, the trilogy of Bobby is for 6 years old and up. So next, I'm going to be doing 0 to 5-year-olds pop-up books. But they're going to be a different type of pop-up book with a different kind of twist to them. And with that, they can learn learn to use their imagination like you do when you're reading these books. It makes you use your imagination. These will be the same way for the little 0 to 5-year-olds. And they also learn about numbers and colors and different things like that.
Aw.
So I thought that'd be a lot of fun to do the 0 to 5-year-olds because they're so cute. I see them all over town. There's new babies being born all the time.
Right.
I thought that would be a next good age group to do.
Well, certainly.
Yeah, I thought it would be a lot of fun.
And I think that everyone's going to love your books because, oh, if you put the excitement and the adventure in those, like you did these, boy, bestsellers, I'll tell you.
And there'll be cute little stories too for the little kids to read. You know, I've already got a couple of them in my mind, but the first 2 books are going to be about, I think they'll really like about animals and things and a little girl and stuff like that. So I'm getting excited about starting those next.
Well, sure.
And then somebody asked me, I think my brother-in-law asked me when they were visiting over in Vanity, he laughed, he says, Mary, what is 0 to 5 years old? He says 0.
Oh, good point.
I said, that's kind of like when the baby's still in the mommy's tummy. It hasn't been born yet, but she could maybe, sometimes new mommies that they're carrying babies might start reading to them while they're still in the womb or whatever. So that's why I put 0 to 5 years old. And he said, oh, okay, now I see what you're meaning.
Very good
Got a
point.
kick out of that.
I'm glad that you explained that because that was very interesting. Sure. I think a lot of moms read to babies when they're in the womb. You bet. That's a good idea. All right. Well, let's see here. How about, can you give our viewers your contact information about where they can purchase your books, where they can get a hold of you?
Sure.
Everything?
You betcha. If you want to get them through me, the author, you can either, you can email me at, it's Rusty, R-U-S-T-Y, the author at yahoo.com, or they can call me at 775-883-2265. I have, of course, a voicemail. Or I have a very wonderful Facebook that Sandie created for me called Mary Randall's Children's Adventure Books. And it's really cool. You can get on there and see all the different events that I've had. And Sandie has all the great pictures, the covers of the books and stories and everything on there. And that way you can also contact me through there as well. And if you are unable to do that, you can order the books online through Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, or my publisher, Exlibris.com. And they also, all 3 books also come in ebook as well, in case a lot of people
Nice.
love ebooks. So you have all those choices.
Boy, that's a nice variety where you can get your books. Awesome. Well, I'm just so excited. I can't wait to start reading these. I'm going to have a lot of fun reading those. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
for being-
Sandie. I really enjoy being on your show. It's a privilege. Thank you so much.
Isn't that fun?
It's
That's
a lot of fun.
Well, it's an honor to have you with us.
Thank you, Sandy.
She's an awesome friend too, as well as being an
Absolutely.
awesome author. You
My
bet.
awesome friend,
Yeah.
Sandy.
All right. Well, we hope that you enjoyed the program today. Now, if you would like to be a special guest on Psychic Creation, please know that the content is of the metaphysical, spiritual, and we have awesome authors. You can get a hold of me at my website, which is www.sandypsychicstones.com, or my email, which is admin@sandypsychicstones.com. You can also get a hold of me on Facebook underneath Sandie La Nae, or Books by Sandie La Nae. How about that? Thank you so much for watching Psychic Creations, and we'll see you next show.